That's a hard one. Can you come back to me? If I could choose a way to die. No, not by barrels, I hate them. Stupid Stefano, go away. If I could choose my own way to die, probably from my fangirls.
I don't think this question really applies to me. I am studying life in pursuit of immortality and all knowledge. But yes, if I have to,
you can't die.
You'd have to destroy every last trace of my DNA.
I guess I could be crushed with a hammer or a chainsaw. I don't know, a blunt weapon.
Chainsaws are blunt. Excuse me. If you could date a celebrity, who would you choose? And if you say Sebastian, I'll kill you.
I would a celebrity. I would date Poots. Justin Bieber, of course.
This is a hard one for me. Bellatrix Lestrange. Does that count? Could I see
Describe the perfect date.
The perfect date. I've been waiting for this question. I want to take a long romantic walk to the fridge. Watch some Netflix. And
Signed up for the date again? Yes. Alright, which one are you?
well,
Tsunade. Which? Tsunade.
So
Alright. So you're gonna be number 2.
But
Okay? Okay.
this is just a straightforward way of saying, will you go out with me, please?
Did you sign up for the
I can't hear you. We're breaking up. I can't hear you. But the perfect day. Probably just playing video games all day, screaming like a little girl. Don't blame me.
I would take him on a tour of my laboratory. It's kind of dark in there, and there's this wonderful snaky atmosphere. And many nice places. They're actually quite comfortable, really.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
My material. Gold sucks. I want to be an emerald, okay? I want to be emerald. I'm awesome as is. I don't want to change anything about me. I'm beautiful.
I think I like myself less than I am with my fabulous hair. But if I do something in my mortal lifespan, that mortal lifespan sucks. And the fact that my face is always peeling off, it's such a pain.
I feel you, bro. Yes.
If your personality was an animal, what kind of animal would it be?
if my personality was an animal. If my personality was an animal, I'd be a chia pet. Probably duck.
Do I even to say? A snake, of course.
If you could be another person for a day, who would you be?
I would be a barrel because I am sick of your crap. Who would I be? I'd probably be Justin Bieber. He has a lot of money, right?
Voldemort.
If you could commit any crime and get away with it, what would you do?
If I could, if you could get away with it. I think I have a few people I'd like to shank with my sword. Yeah, I'm gonna shank somebody. I'll just throw a bunch of barrels at them, pretty much.
Kidnapping an entire village.
That escalated quickly.
So, who would you want to choose? Contestant number 1, who would love to be in a barrel? Contestant number 2, who would love to meet Justin Bieber very much? Or contestant number 3, who would like to kill entire village?
Not to kill, it used to be my experiment.
What? Oh, just to use for experiments. I'm sorry.
I choose contestant number 3.
Contestant number 3. Lucky you. You guys want to pose for a picture?
Looks like a lady.
Okay.
Do you believe that love can bloom on the battlefield?
Can you repeat the question?
Excuse me, guys. We have the contestant can't even hear the question, so if you could please put the conversations outside, we really would appreciate that. It's too loud in here. Thank you.
Do you believe that love can bloom on the battlefield?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Do you believe that love can bloom on the battlefield?
Maybe, it depends.
Do you address all of them or just one?
I address to them all.
Yes. I met my first love because his little sister died, just like my brother died. I like to have parties with everyone, especially if they're not living.
If you had only 24 hours to live, what would you do?
I think I would defeat the other mother, and then with the rest of my time, I'd probably go exploring.
Yes, I know.
I would go drinking with all my friends.
Can you repeat the question, please?
If you had only 24 hours to live, what would you do?
Well, you see, in my race, we tend to have multiple lives, so that's a tough question. I would probably dance with all my friends. I love to dance. But first, I would join hands with my friend Teresa.
If you could commit any crime and get away with it, what would you do?
Kidnapping seems my speed. I guess rob a bank. I had to get money to get out of debt somehow.
Kill each and every one of my friends.
Kinky. If you could date a celebrity, who would you choose?
That is a tough question. Do animals count?
If you believe that, then sure.
I'm the Hokage. I'm practically a celebrity myself.
The human John has told me of a Nicolas Cage. I hear he is very poorly at making movies.
Again, kinky.
He can ask like 3 more questions.
How many more questions do I have?
3 more.
3 more, got it.
Describe the perfect date.
It would probably begin with exploring in the forest, and then possibly defeating our enemies and avoiding buttons at all cost. That's pretty easy. Just going with gambling and drinking would be a good time.
I used to have a boyfriend, but then my best friend went and made him crazy and killed me. But I would say that the perfect date would be just flarping around in my little hive and maybe some mind honey.
Oh my. This one's my favorite. If you could be invisible for a day, what would you do?
I think I would mess with my friends and pull pranks. Skip out on all my paperwork. Don't tell Shizune. She'd try to find me no matter what.
I would go over to Nepetta's house and read all of her shipping walls.
Take 1 more question and then choose your date, please.
Do you know the name? Big Boss.
Doesn't ring a bell.
I've heard big bras.
You have? All right. So I just pick now?
Yes, pick 1, 2, or 3. You want to make me sum it up?
Sum it up, please.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Would you like to pick contestant number 1, who would like to avoid buttons at all cost? Very important. Contestant number 2, which is a beautiful person with a very sad memory. Or contestant number 3 with several lives. Interest in wine.
I think I'm gonna have to pick contestant number 2. These 2 little bitties.
Could I have the contestants for round number 3 please have a seat?
I'm gonna film this one so we can put it
Another
together.
round, another lucky winner.
I'm gonna put this all on YouTube. Yeah.
either single-wise the contestants if you have interest in individuals or want to find out more, or you can add them as well. Okay? Go ahead. Hold the mic a little closer so I can hear you. Yes, you can. As long as you can. Okay.
What would your last meal be?
My last meal?
Yeah.
Hamburgers, of course.
For me, it would have to be a steaming flavored chalk, but only the red ones, of course.
I imagine that my last meal will be something perfectly normal that my 5th husband has suddenly laced with cyanide.
Ew, chalk.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Well, for me, I guess it would be just the amount of hamburgers and french fries that I eat. Because a girl has to watch her figure, you know?
Well, I could say I would try not to be blind. That would be a bad idea. I'd say I would make my pants red. That would be a good idea.
You're good.
Sorry.
I've always wished I could have an honest relationship with my mother.
Agreed.
Yay, Mom.
Describe the perfect date.
Eating hamburgers and driving around in somebody else's new car.
Well, first, they would help me hang all my scale mates from my hive. That would be very fun to bring justice to Alternia. And then we would share a great dinner of chalk, of course. But I would keep all the red ones myself.
I would psychoanalyze all of my online friends and then knit them handkerchiefs to cry into.
Where's your degree? Seriously.
If you could change one thing in the world, what would it be?
Countries that don't have enough meat for hamburgers would get them. And more potatoes, too.
I would make it so the justice system was more prevailing in the world. And then I would become the ruler of all the legislators.
I think I would like to see in the world more magic in everyday life. I feel like life is not magical enough anymore.
What's a hamburger?
Address the contestants.
Contestant 1, what's a hamburger?
If you don't know what a hamburger is, you obviously have not been to America. Seriously. What's with that, dude?
What's your favorite month of the year and why?
What was that?
What's your favorite month of the year and why?
What's my favorite month of the year?
Yes.
July. Because of the 4th of July.
Mine would have to be the second moon of the dark season. Or as you Earth humans would call it, February. Everything is so red.
I'm fond of December. That's when all my friends have birthdays.
Back to December, huh?
If you only had 24 hours to live, what would you do?
Stuff my face with hamburgers until I couldn't eat anymore, and then I would just die from them, I bet.
I would go up to all my friends and tell my honest feelings about them, by means of licking them, of course.
Maybe with a deadline like that, I'd finally get around to learning to play the rain.
Alright.
number 1, who clearly loves hamburgers, which you then could experience. Contestant number 2, who would like to bring justice and a lot of chalk to the world. Or contestant number 3, who would like to knit the world, give them a lot of love and magic.
Number 2, because number 1's a cannibal.
Really? I'm the hero.
Meet your date.
America's like, I'm done.
Could I have the contestants for round number 4 please have a seat? Alright, so you can choose any questions from here, or you can make up your own. You can address all of them or single.
I'm gonna check on Jonah. What? I'm gonna go check on Jonah. You're gonna go what? Check on Jonah. Okay.
How skilled are you with an AR-15 automatic shotgun?
Ooh, oh my god, I love guns. What do you think? I've never had one personally. I mean, I like my gun. My gun's a lot of fun. But I'd really like to try it sometime.
I stick with canes because I can't see.
I wouldn't do anything. I'm a gentleman.
How many bodies do you think you can accumulate on a